September 1st. Are you kidding me, Ryan? Armani, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. What a great, beautiful weather week we are having.
It
Braylon
is, man.
Edwards,
it's beautiful.
And we're wearing shades of blue.
Yeah, always. Got to represent us at some cost always, man. It's great outside. I got my golf hat on. It has the mitten on it. Always true to Michigan, man. It's a beautiful day, and I'm here with you guys, man. Can you believe somebody gave us our own show?
I told you this earlier today, Braylon, and I said it with Maz, too. I am having more fun with you guys right now than I have had in a long time. You guys, I'm telling you, are awesome to work with. If we could only stick a microphone or a camera in our show prep meetings, I think that's the show.
I agree. It's natural. It's smooth. It's very, and we go at it too, though.
That's why I don't know. Maybe we're a little too reserved out here.
Hey, you know what? Put the gloves on today, buddy. I'm coming at you.
No, Maz is.
We go at you every day.
And I think you may be more reserved out here than you are in the back.
I think he may be more reserved in the back than he is out here. I think we're the ones that turn up in the back.
That's the show. Hey, guys, everybody out there, thanks for tuning in. This is Woodward Sports Network. If you're catching us on Twitter, on YouTube, we appreciate you doing that wherever you are listening to us on the Woodward Sports app. We've got a big show for you today, guys. We're really excited in the 3 o'clock hour to talk to Jay Feely.
Oh, man, former teammate of mine.
Absolutely, former teammate of Braylon, national champion for the Michigan Wolverines. He 14-year NFL career.
A lot of field goals made there, buddy.
And that's after, Jay Feely did not just wasn't some draft pick and goes into the NFL. He was an undrafted guy, played in the Arena League for a couple of years before he got his chance and ultimately had a 14-year career. That is how you get it done. Guys like that, I think you kind of tip your cap to, right?
Exactly, and it's funny. You were talking about this yesterday. You were talking about the guys that are undrafted or the guys that have a real journey and they go into training camp or they go into a squad and they just really bust their butts and they really just show all they have and they take spots from other people. Jay did that consistently. Everywhere he went, he was 84.4 or better field goal percentage. So, man, that's saying a lot about him. 14 years. That's nothing to sneeze at, man. Tip of the cap, man.
NFL game analyst for CBS. He'll join us in hour number 2 of the program. Tom, good morning to you, sir.
Hey, guys.
Or
what's
good
happening?
Afternoon, whatever time it is.
It's good to be with you guys. As always, I got some breaking news for you.
Okay, here we go.
Man, you came right at it.
Well, it broke a little while ago, but it's breaking for us, obviously. Hey, Jelani Tavai's got a new home. Anyone want to guess who picked him up?
I got one guess for you.
I know, so I won't spoil it.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Is it Matt Patricia's New England Patriots?
That's it.
There
Ding,
it
ding,
is.
ding, 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 ding. And if you remember, go back a couple of draft nights, and ESPN was scrambling when the Lions chose him with the 43rd pick. NFL Network, no one had any video or tape on him. They went to the commercial. That's because the rumor was the Patriots really liked him. So the Lions said, we better take this guy. So now he's back where he belongs with Kyle Van Noy and the New England Patriots.
Good. They can have Matt Patricia and Jelani Tavai.
and really, that's I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, the Lions clearly didn't know what they were doing then. And if this is got Matt Patricia's fingerprints all over it, he certainly doesn't have any idea what he's doing now.
Yeah, but Bill Belichick in that defense, whether you want to try to give the credit to Matt Patricia, it's Bill Belichick's defense. They don't necessarily need guys that are high octane, that are high athletic guys, that are high in the athletic department. We've talked about how we've seen Jelani Tavai on film, and he just didn't look like he could get it done. He just looked out of sorts, and he looked like he was lost in space. Well, Bill Belichick and Patricia, I guarantee you they can take that and formulate that to something in their system and make it work. You see what they did with Kyle Van Noy. He'll work. They'll plug him somewhere, and he'll be happy to have a job, and it's in New England.
In fairness, Maz, I believe he was signed to the practice squad.
He is.
So he wasn't signed to the active 53-man roster.
Now.
Will he ultimately have a shot to play for them? Perhaps.
I think so.
Perhaps.
He listens. They told him to come back. We want you to lose 25 pounds. He's a guy that will do what you tell him. Like, he's not a guy that causes any issues. He'll do exactly what you tell him. So that's a good sign. That's one of those, automatic type of robotic type of New England Patriots type players that, have success. So that bodes well for him.
How many guys in the Jelani Tavai was taken number 43 overall, right?
God.
I mean,
Don't even start.
And that was in the 2019 draft. That wasn't in the 2017 draft. That was in the 2019 draft. Not even on an active NFL roster. How many guys? I don't know. I wish I would have thought of this question that I'm about to ask before the show.
Yeah.
But how many guys taken in the top 50 of any draft is pretty much out of the league
after 2 years?
After a year and a half. After a year and a half. How many guys are out of the league to where no other team in the NFL even wants a chance on you? I don't consider, look, there's a lot of guys signed to practice squads. I don't consider the New England Patriots putting Tavai on the 53-man roster. I mean, nobody wanted him. Not one of the 32 teams wanted him. This is kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? This is just kind of like
an attaboy. Come on over here.
Come on over here.
Come on over. Yeah, it's one of those things, and this may be a hot take. This may be interesting, Ryan. I feel like the second-round pick for most teams is the pick that they're pretty sure on. I feel like it's the pick that either something slipped to them and they're excited, or it's pretty much who they were going to draft anyway. I think the first-round pick, you either hope you got the right guy or maybe you didn't get the right guy and you're nervous. I think that second-round guy is the guy that you were going to get. Or, like I said, someone slips to you and you're like, oh, man, we got him. So for the second-round pick to disappear after a year and a half, as you said, yeah, that's a red flag. But luckily, that's not the franchise and that's not the organization that we're under now with Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And I think for the Lions, forget about the second round.
Yeah.
You got to worry about the first round. I mean, if you look at the last two first-round picks for this team in Jeff Okudah and Penei Sewell, look, and I've said it before, I'm not going to freak out about Sewell just yet, but is there any indication to you that says, oh, man, Okudah, going to be a great player. Sewell, he's totally got it. I mean, I think he's got it.
Yeah.
I hope he's got it. But there isn't one at 0 points throughout this preseason where I'm like, okay, that's the guy that they picked. I at least a flash.
He hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah.
Year and a half, whatever the hell it is. He could be an all-pro. They changed the whole guy's life around. Hey, go play on the other side. Change your entire life around.
No, I get it.
Yeah, I think
he's going to have a chance to prove who he is. I still say, obviously, it was the wrong pick at that time. That's my opinion.
Also, I feel as though Dan Campbell is getting rid of every sign of Matt Patricia. I think, getting rid of Jelani Tavai was one of those last, all right, cool. We're getting rid of all Matt Patricia's guys. When coaches come in a lot of times, they want their guys. You hear their guy, my guy, he wasn't my guy. He has a chance from a team that was really bad last year and a couple years before that to just get rid of everything that reminds them of that past. So I think that's one of those moves. And as it relates to Okudah and Penei Sewell, like Matt said, the big guy over there, Penei hasn't played in a year and a half, and he's moved sides. They don't move you to another side because they don't think you can play. They move you to another side when they know that this is the best spot for you. This is where we know you're going to operate best. We talked about you being an all-pro potentially when we drafted you. This is where we think you're going to have that all-pro type of career. So I'm excited about that. And Jeff Okudah now has Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is a guy that can get on him. Aaron Glenn is a guy that can help him see his potential. I'm excited about that as well. So let's just watch these things play out over the next 4 weeks. We can come back and start talking about what do we see change.
We see it happen in hockey. We see it happen in baseball. We see it a lot in the NBA. Just look at the Detroit Pistons and how young they are. The way that the Detroit Lions constructed their roster so far, and again, there's going to be a million more changes potentially, but their 53-man roster that they submitted to the league,
we got to talk about that some a little bit.
I mean, how young are these guys? Let me put up some tweets.
It's the second youngest in the league, Ryan.
Wow.
The second youngest behind the Jets. The Bears are the oldest.
Yeah, you are hard pressed to find many totally young teams like this. So the roster cuts have come and gone. Woo. This is from Dave Burkett on Twitter. Says this is why wild. The Lions have 6 cornerbacks on their 53-man roster. All 25 or younger. 2 are undrafted free agents. Another is a rookie, a fourth in year 2, and a converted safety 2 weeks ago. Starters are Jeff Okudah, second year, Amani Owarie, a third-year player, and A.J. Parker, undrafted free agent.
That's interesting.
That's your guy.
Yeah, that's my guy. I like Parker a lot. Undrafted guy, but this is an extremely young football team. If you look at the offensive line, extremely young football team. I mean,
when I look at that, I think of, and I think I've said this before, I think of the Seattle Seahawks. I think of what Brian Schneider and Pete Carroll were able to do out there. They drafted their way into the playoffs and to consistency and to the Legion of Boom. Like, if you look at the Legion of Boom, those were all guys that were drafted by the Seattle Seahawks. You know, you look at the other side of the ball, they drafted Russell Wilson. They drafted Russell Okung, the All-Pro and Pro Bowl left tackle. That's what they did. And then they merged it with a couple of older players they brought in for free agency. That's what they're trying to do here. And here's a sample size prediction. Omani Oruwariye of Penn State, I was very high on him. Omani is a tremendous athlete. I thought he should have been a first-round draft pick, but he didn't test necessarily that well. Omani is going to be a beast. He's going to be a guy that's going to establish himself. So I'm very excited with that. The pick. I mean, him being on the team and playing, like I said, under Aaron Glenn, who is extremely good a good player for the New York Jets for years.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into some more Lions talk. And I have a question for you, guys. I'm going to make a statement about the Lions rebuild too. One aspect of the rebuild that I think is because of it, it's going to take longer. Want to get into that and just your overall thoughts on where this franchise is going. They have no kickers, but they did get a kicker today, Maz. They did sign a kicker today.
Thankfully.
I know you were really upset about that yesterday. All that and more.
Is this going to be a kicking topic day?
Jay Feely in hour number 2. You're listening to Herm Edwards, Woodward Sports Network.
Coming back. Matt, you gotta show Maz, man. Maz is already upset. Like, Maz's favorite position on the field is the kicker, and he loves talking about kickers, and he's been talking about the Lions getting a good kicker, and that he didn't like Zane. Zane didn't cut the mustard for him, and we brought in the kicker, and well, we'll just let Maz kind of explain his deal and what he sees going on. Tell us about Siebert over there, Maz.
I got nothing.
Can he make one from inside 30? Can he at least make the extra point?
Welcome back to the bottom line, Woodward Sports.
Oh God, Maz, you are the greatest.
I'm sorry.
Poor Braylon's trying to.
I'm trying.
I love you, man.
I'm trying to steer the ship, man. I'm like,
I need some of that kombucha juice, whatever you drink there.
I'm all over the place.
Braylon's trying to right the ship over
it's
here.
It's like Blind Fury, man. Come on, man. Let's pull it together, fellas.
Maz, all right. While Maz is figuring out whatever he's got to figure out over there, Braylon, I want to ask you too, because if you look at any rebuild in the NFL,
yeah,
when you tear it down to the studs like this, and I go back to when the Lions were 0-16, right? That's as bad as you can get.
Yeah.
They made it to the playoffs 3 years after 0-16. So there's no reason why this franchise can't be at least right back in the playoffs 3 years from now. And if you do that, your track is 2-15, 3-14, 8-9, or 9-8, and then in that third year you make that big leap to 10-7 or whatever the case may be. You know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
The one concern I have with turning this around in in that 3-year track like they did when it was 0-16 is the quarterback.
What year was that, by the way, again? 2007?
Well, that was
Six.
So they made the playoffs in 16, 15, 14, so it was 13. Was it?
No. Oh, the 0-16 season would have been like earlier. It would have been 2007. It would have been before 7 or 8.
Yeah. You're right. Thank you for that.
7 or 8.
Because that's what got him Stafford.
Exactly. That's what got him Stafford. That's where I was going with that. Right.
So, but they made it to the playoffs 3 years after that,
Very
too,
true.
in 11.
Right. Exactly.
In 11.
You're right.
So you're right. I got my years mixed up.
But it's still the same question.
Still the same basis. Still the same basis for the question. Because, 3 years after Stafford was drafted, they were in.
It's tough.
The quarterback. If Jared Goff isn't the quarterback, if he's not the quarterback of the future, you got to draft somebody next year, and then I feel like that 3 years starts all over again.
So it's like 4.5 to 5.
Yeah, and it just kind of – I hate to keep beating on the drum. It just kind of is another highlighter through the fact that you didn't take a quarterback this year, and perhaps one of the best quarterback drafts, projected best quarterback drafts out there. I hope this doesn't turn into an elongated – period, because you don't have the quarterback, or you win too many games this year to draft that good quarterback.
Yeah, that's very interesting that you say that. The Lions did go 0-16, and they were able to draft Matt Stafford, who, when it's all said and done, is probably going to have a Hall of Fame career. And then you draft, or could have a Hall of Fame career.
Potentially the numbers are there.
Because he could be a guy like Phillip Rivers, who actually has more playoff wins, so he's another tweener type guy. But then you also have Calvin Johnson, who you're coming into. So you had some guys to build around. And I think that's the same in Seattle. My example is you still have Marshawn Lynch. You bring over Sidney Rice. You had Chris Clemens out there. So you had some guys that you kind of could build around out there in Seattle. Like, there's nobody to build around here right now, just on the outside looking in. There's no one to build on. You have Jared Goff, but his own last franchise, they were so excited to get rid of him. It gives you pause for concern. So it's tough. Like, to your point,
Braylon's a great point.
Do you really just want to start over from scratch, or are you so confident in what you can do in terms of bringing a culture, bringing an attitude, and teaching people how to win, and getting people to buy into the system, and bringing players from free agency and trading during the season before the trade deadline? If you're confident in that, then by all means, Dan, Brad, Sheila, let's go for it. But if you're not, then you put yourself in a bit of a bind.
Maz, let me bring you into this discussion, because I think Braylon just said something that was totally brilliant. And that is, who on this roster right now are you building around? They don't have a play. DeAndre Swift could be that guy, but he can't. Yeah, if you're not available to me, I don't have much use for you.
There's really not a single guy. Well, Jeff Okudah, but he doesn't look like he's the goods. I mean, I'm going to give him a chance to have a good year, a good second year, but as of now, he has not looked great. The defense was the worst last year. I hope it improves a little bit. It probably will. But the offense, which was decent last year, now is in the garbage. So what do? You got Penei Sewell. You draft him number 1. They jumped up and down in the Lions drafting room like they hit the Powerball. And I hope it comes through, because as they were jumping up and down, and everyone at our draft party was jumping up and down, I was sitting there saying, I don't like it. And I'm saying it. I still don't like it. There's nobody on this team that you could build around except those two guys I just mentioned. Your last 2 number 1 picks. That's it.
Yeah.
Braylon, I just wanted to mention the 08 season, they were 0-16.
That's what I thought.
And then they drafted Stafford 09, 10, and then they make it 11.
Yeah, they drafted Calvin out.
Yeah, so they made it in 11. So 3 years still, which it takes on the rebuild. I just think the rebuild is elongated because they don't have the quarterback yet. And that's not to say that Jared Goff won't turn out to be the quarterback, but in these rebuilds, you usually have a quarterback, at least in the last 10 years or so. When you do these quick rebuilds, you have the quarterback on a rookie deal. And that's important too.
It's either you have the defense in place already, or you have some studs on defense that you can kind of build around, like a Myles Garrett or something down there in Cleveland, and then you draft Baker Mayfield. So it's like you have something in place on defense. and then that particular draft, you're able to draft that quarterback that will be the quarterback of the future. This is a very unique situation where there's not really a good defense. There's not really a stud or studs, just a couple, to build around, and you're not sure of your quarterback. So I think you bring up a very good point, and it's one that we're going to have to monitor moving forward.
The Lions did sign a kicker today, Maz. I do want to make mention of that. They got your boy from the Cincinnati Bengals, Austin Seibert.
He's horrible.
They also added Browns wide receiver Kaderil Hodge.
He sucks too.
Oh my God!
Jeez, Maz, come on.
Woo!
You know, so Maz is high on this Matt Prater situation too. He's high, yeah, right. He's high in this Matt Prater situation.
Why do you let one of the best kickers just go? You had it for $2 million. You don't have $2 million to spend on just keeping a kicker.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. That's your only point sometimes.
Yeah.
So I thought that Matt Prater signed a deal for $7 million a year.
Yeah.
No, it was a 2-year, $6.5 million deal because my
3.15 a year.
Yeah. My whole argument against signing Matt Prater was that you're not going to sign a kicker for that much money. But then you look at the deal he got in Arizona, and you're like, wait, 2 years, $3.125 million, Braylon. I mean, seriously, you can't come up with $3 million a year for one of the top 5 best kickers in all of football?
I guarantee you that was one of the times, and that may started the process, or maybe even got to the 75% of the process of Matt Stafford just being tired of Detroit and what was going on in the front office, and their willingness to pay people to help continue or to help them get to where they need to be. Matt Prater is a guy that is consistent from, as we agreed on in the back, I believe, Matt.
From 50 to 60.
I'd say 45.
I said he's solid from 60 in.
I'd say
That's all.
45 to 60. Yeah, this guy is a walking automatic machine. That helps you because now do you know what your mindset is as the starting quarterback, as a Matt Stafford? Okay, he can make it from 60 yards in. Well, if we get the ball to 20, all I really got to do is cross the 50.
Yep.
I just need to get the ball to the 45. You know what I'm saying? I need to get the ball to the 40. And we have a shot. If I know that that's in my back of my mind, my process, all I got to do is get to the 40. It changes the way that I run the plays. It changes the way that I think of things because now I'm not looking to get the ball down the field. I'm just looking to get to the 40. And sometimes I might take that short 3-yard dump that's going to, no pun intended, that short drop-off to the running back or the tight end that can get us a couple yards here, a couple yards there, and we'll move the chains as opposed to going down the field.
Listen, guys, I'm not a dummy. I fool around. I'm like, we don't have a kicker. I joke. You need a kicker. I know we're not going to the playoffs as Lions. We're not going, so they let a good kicker go. I get it. It's not going to matter if they had him or not when it comes down to it. Arizona, they're going to try to make the playoffs. That's the best division in football. They got themselves an upgrade there. We took their junk. They took our treasure. But that said, it's just the way, at least you would have had something to rely on. That's all. And now they're out there looking for that guy that they can rely on. The guy in Miami, Jason Sanders, terrific guy. No one talks about him. He signed a $23 million deal. That's a kicker, getting $23 million. So if you're going to have Matt Prater for $7 million, I think that was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I think we need to save some of our kicking talk, considering we got Jay Feely coming in the studio or coming in video around that 3:30 hour. Let's get into Hurricane Ida and what it caused, for the NFL, and what's happening because of Hurricane Ida with the the Saints and the Pack.
Let's put it up right now because there was concern that the New Orleans Saints, who hosted the Green Bay Packers in Week 1, were not going to be able to play that game in New Orleans, and they are not. The Saints will play the Packers at Jacksonville. That is, according to multiple sources, the hurricane displacing the New Orleans Saints. They are moving that game to Jacksonville, Florida.
That's an upgrade for the Packers because it's tough to play in that Superdome. I mean, I think the Packers they got the better of that deal. Unfortunately for New Orleans, they haven't been able to be home for at least a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And, we're just talking about earlier, we talked about Green Bay. Green Bay is -2 linemen right now. We've talked about how good Aaron Rodgers is and Davante Adams and the team and what they got, and we're thinking about being in the NFC Championship last year. But a lot of what Aaron Rodgers does is predicated on being able to relax and chill and know that he has his guys in there and move around. So if he's going to be down the left tackle and the right guard, That spells well. And your guy, Mr. Jameis Winston,
Hold on.
are we looking at a potential upset in week 1?
Pardon me, I'm eating that W.
Woo! You need to stop right now. That's West Side.
That's
no,
gross.
but are we it's very gross.
Gotta eat that W.
Are we potentially looking at an upset in week 1? It's a neutral site. It's in Jacksonville. Are we looking at an upset with Jameis and the Saints?
Braylon, I'll tell you this much. You don't have to, missing linemen in the NFL is a big deal, and you don't have to go too far back. Just look at what happened in the Super Bowl when the Kansas City Chiefs were missing a couple of linemen.
There you go.
What that means to
Tampa Bay had a field day.
An offense, to a quarterback. If you could stifle Patrick Mahomes when he doesn't have his linemen, you're going to stifle anybody in the NFL. Absolutely. So that is something to look at, and I'm excited for Jameis Winston.
Can you imagine?
Got to eat that W.
Can you imagine if we come back that following Monday and the Saints happen to beat Aaron Rodgers? Can you imagine what we're going to have to listen to with this guy over there? Oh, my God. I'm not coming in. I'm not coming in.
You might have to sit that one out. Come in my Jameis Winston uniform.
I'm not coming in for you and crab legs.
Hey, Ryan, I picked him up on my fantasy team as my backup.
Ooh,
just for you.
Okay, he'll be starting by week 3.
There you go.
Guys, want to get into some college football talk next? It's put up or shut up time for many coaches in the NCAA.
Got some stuff coming.
None bigger than Jim Harbaugh. What do we got? What do we got, Coach
ready.
Harbs?
I'm saving it.
What do we got, Harbs? Who else is on that list?
I'm saving it.
We'll be back. Herm Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Hey guys, it's Maz for our good friends at Northwestern Tech. Start a new career in an industry that's always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
All right, right back here on Woodward Sports. It is put up or shut up time for a number of coaches in college football. The season, kicked off last weekend, of course, on Saturday, but we've got some games, really good ones, starting tomorrow and throughout the Labor Day weekend. But look, a couple of names on this list. Jim Harbaugh, obviously, 49-22 in his 6 seasons at Michigan. Scott Frost is an absolute disaster.
I'm ready.
Is he really that bad?
He's a disaster.
Well, how could he be that bad?
You can't be 12-21 at Nebraska.
I'm ready.
I'm sorry, Braylon. You can't be that bad at Michigan, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas. You don't get. I wouldn't be surprised if Scott Frost doesn't make it through the season.
Here we go.
I disagree.
Put up or shut up. I'm looking at this list. Scott Frost and Harbs, they lead the list. So with Jim Harbaugh, 49-22, that's okay if you look at it, just numbers, right? 0-5 against OSU, 1-4 in bowl games, 10-6. He stinks. We know all the numbers. Like, we know all these numbers. At the end of the day, when you look at it, no one is scared to play Michigan, okay? Mm-hmm. He hasn't gotten a big win. He's never won, and a team that is ranked 10 or under, 10-1, he's never had a win. He can, if this was anyone else, if this was anywhere
on the road,
else.
top 10 on the road.
Top 10 on the road. Anywhere else, he'd be gone.
Yes.
He'd be gone. We know this already. We know he's on the hot seat. Let's just leave him alone. Scott Frost, these are Scott Frost's numbers. These are record year by year since he's been the head coach in Nebraska. 4-8. 5-7, 3-5, 0-1. That's terrible.
Terrible.
That's terrible. But he didn't really do technically that much. He went 13-0 with UCF, but he had a losing season the year before that at UCF. He hasn't done enough. Whether he's been there in the tradition of Nebraska and they hired him, they brought him in because of what he done. 13-0, thought he could be the guy. He knows the tradition of Nebraska. He's simply not getting it done. And not only is he not getting it done, Ryan and Maz, he's backsliding. I watched the game against Illinois. I saw the same mistakes they were making 5 years ago. I saw the same things in big plays 5 years ago. Martinez has not gotten better. He's actually gotten worse. He's actually gotten worse. That's not what we brought you in here to do at a big program. And they're not like some schools that won't be named. They'll get rid of him and keep the program moving because they generally generate too much revenue, and the boosters aren't going for that. So I'm looking at the rest of this list. Clay Helton has done good. You know, USC went 5-1 last year.
They're gonna have a nice year.
Yeah,
this
he's
year.
not on this list. Herm Edwards, you know, he's 7-6, won a bowl game his first year, 8-5, 2-2.
I don't think he belongs on the list.
doesn't.
Wait a minute. He's got issues at Arizona State. They're looking at him.
For what reason?
Because of violations. He's got violations.
Like serious violations?
That's not hot seat then. That's something different. Hot seat is, I'm talking about gameplay.
Yeah,
if it's hot, if it's
they caught
issues.
him with the extra practices and the talking to the recruits, the extra coaches, whatever you want to call those guys. Remember that name we threw out last week?
Advisor, the consultant.
Yeah, whatever the consultant.
Tell him to find another.
I'm just saying he's under scrutiny.
At the end of the day, it's Arizona State.
I like Herm.
So anyway, going back to this
Except for
list,
1979.
Ed Ogeron, you don't win a national title 2 years ago at 45 and 14 and be on this list. So that whoever made this list,
dumb list.
But here's two people
It's
that
Pete
do.
Thamel.
Here's two people that do belong on this list. Chip Kelly, 11 and 21. Are you serious? This is it for Chip Kelly. Now, they got to win against Hawaii. They scored 25 points in the first quarter, the most they've scored since 1988. Saw Zach Charbonnet, you know, 3 touchdowns, averaging 33.
Go Blue.
That was really good. Go Blue. You see Dorian Thompson, Robinson, he took the lead over Troy Aikman, so he's now 6th all-time in school for passing yards. So they got it going in the right direction, but this is it because they've been pretty bad since.
And you gotta be, you look at those California schools too, and USC's one, USC is, I mean, they just show you once you go down, it's hard to come back up.
They should have beat Oregon last year. They tricked it off.
UCLA, you'd be shocked at how substandard their facilities are, though. In Los Angeles at UCLA.
The campus looks nice, but that's how Michigan used to be. If you remember, Michigan, DT, you've been around before, I would say, before David in 2013, the AD, I can't think of his name, before he came in
Brandon?
Dave Brandon. Before he came in, Michigan played the football. They still had the same meager accommodations. Yeah. They still were the same meager accommodations. All the money we generated, they gave to the school, U of M, and the other teams. They didn't give it to the football players.
Yeah, there was no Al Glick Fieldhouse.
There was none of that. There's that now. And here's the last guy that deserves to be on that list. And I love the guy as a person. I love him, his energy. But Dino Babbers, we got to get rid of you, buddy. We got to get rid of you, man. Dino Babbers is 24-36, 5-7, and 1-10 in his last 2 seasons. That win against Clemson and Deshaun Watson, that was 4 years ago, buddy. That 10-3 season you had, that was 3 years ago, buddy. What have you done for me lately? 1-10, 5-7. That ain't gonna cut it, especially against an emerging ACC. You got Miami is emerging. North Carolina, UNC is emerging. Clemson is Clemson. I'm trying to tell you that Alabama and Miami game, that's gonna be a barn burner because I'm excited to see Alabama go on the road. I know it doesn't matter.
When he's excited,
I'm excited to see what Miami's going to do. They got the turnover chain. They're in Miami. They're at Hard Rock Stadium. I'm trying to tell you.
Which quarterback makes more money, the Alabama freshman or the Miami freshman?
Oh, Bryce.
Don't they make like $1.5 million each?
Bryce is making more money.
Oh, yeah.
Bryce is making more money. It's
he hasn't even played yet.
It's a little over $1 million to $1.5 million, but the Alabama quarterback, guarantee you, he's gonna renegotiate his contract with the NIL after next season.
Yeah,
after this season,
they're just gonna keep going back and forth.
You heard what Brady said: Heisman Trophy and maybe 2.
Yeah, that's right. Brady Quinn did say this kid from Alabama, this new quarterback from Alabama, this shiny new piece who they just completely revolve, and it's just a revolving door over there. Might win the Heisman twice.
The interesting thing is, if you win the MVP in a contract year, Maz, Alex, Fish, Ryan, if you win the MVP in a contract year, what are you about to do? You about to get paid.
That's right.
Imagine winning the Heisman. It's like a contract year.
I think that'd be a great thing.
Yeah.
You could go to any car dealership and say, hey, I want one of these, 2 of those, 5 of those.
You know what the scary thing is these guys, let's say he won 2 Heisman. Let's say he would renegotiate all his contracts. They will start to look at NFL contracts like, nah, I'm okay, I'll pass. happens.
At least you do your thing.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got Jay Feely coming up in hour number 2 of the program. We're really excited about that. We'll talk to Jay about the NFL. He's a game analyst for CBS NFL broadcast this year.
Suns kicking at Arizona State. Speaking of Arizona State,
can you believe that?
Yeah.
And Herm likes him.
I knew him before he. Oh my God, where's time going?
We are getting old, man. That's for sure. Suns kicking at Arizona State. He's got a lot going on too. We'll ask him about Michigan and Tom Brady. Was teammates with Tom Brady, still friends to this day. A lot going on with Jay Feely. I wanted to stick with college football if I could. Michigan State plays on the road on Friday. Couple days from now.
9:00 p.m., man.
Kirk Herbstreit had some interesting things to say about Michigan fans. I want to get to that as well. All that and more. Monty and Edwards on a Wednesday. Had to think about that for a minute. The bottom line, Woodward Sports Network.
It's going.
You know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 5-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz for our good friends and studio sponsors, MyBookie.ag. It's winning season, and it's time to get in on the action. You just heard Ryan, Michigan State ready to play on Friday, and then Michigan gets teed up from the big house on Saturday. You got football coming up, the cuts, you got over and unders, you got any way you want to bet, you do it at MyBookie.ag. Use that promo code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $1,000. That's right, MyBookie.ag. You can do it. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Gambling problem? Call the National Problem Gambling Hotline at 1-800-522-4700.
Michigan State on the road at Northwestern Friday night, 9:00 kick, Braylon. They are a 3-point
That's because
dog.
they're in Chicago, as Alex so graciously told me.
That's right. Michigan at home, a 17-point favorite against the Western Michigan Broncos on Saturday. That's a noon game. Just total deviation from what I wanted to talk about real quick. As a player, well, let me start here. As a fan, I love the noon kick. The noon kick to me is the greatest thing. It's when college football should be played. As a player, what is the perfect time for you to play?
As a fan, I think the noon kick, 1 kick, even the 4 kick to a certain extent, it allows you to have fun on Saturday and then knock out at a reasonable time, correct? But as a player, I think you're still young. You want the night game. Like, I think the night game is exciting. It takes a long time to get to it, and once you get into the NFL, like, you dread the Thursday night game, you dread the Monday night football game because it just goes on and on and on before it starts. But in college, man, you're 18, you're 19, you're 20, 21. Some kids are 27. Depends on.
Depends if you're going to Bishop Sycamore.
Exactly. The Mountain West, Utah, and all those guys. The Mountain
BYU.
West. We played Utah my sophomore year, and their safety was 28. I was like, he's 28, I'm 19. But you're excited, man. You live for that moment, and everybody's watching. It's like Friday Night Lights. You still have just left high school. So I don't think in college it matters. I think you want that night game in college.
ESPN college football analyst, been doing it a long time. Kirk Herbstreit, he's an Ohio State guy, but they ran him out of Columbus even. He doesn't even live in Columbus anymore because they ran him out because he was just being too reasonable, I guess, for the Buckeye fans out there. But he did have some interesting things to say. I've got some strong opinions about this as well. Let me play it for you. Kirk Herbstreit talking about the Michigan Wolverines fans saying they are not passionate. Take a listen.
They're not as passionate about sports. I don't know if they have other, how Michigan, they have great fans, but like compared to Madison or State College or Columbus or Iowa, it's almost like, we went to the game, but we're running companies and we're doing other things. We got other things going on besides football. Our lives, are bigger than if we went on a Saturday. Well, in Columbus and Madison and State College, their lives that next week are predicated upon what happened last Saturday. In Michigan, they got more things going on, it seems like.
It's a totally unfair analysis of Michigan fans, I feel like.
First of all, we do have other things going on. We don't think about Ohio State 365 days a year like you losers. We don't think about Wisconsin and Michigan State 365 like they may do, or Iowa, etc. We have passionate fans. Like I'm talking about, Ryan, you go to that golf course on a Saturday, that thing is rocking. If you go anywhere and you see Michigan fans, it's go blue. It's excitement. Michigan was in the Frozen Four a couple years ago. It was excitement. We've been in the Final Four and in the national championship a couple times. Football team hasn't done exactly what we want them to do, but there's still excitement there. If he would have said it's not loud at a Michigan stadium, he and I could have had a conversation where I could have talked about that, because to a certain extent it is, but do you know why it's not that loud? That's because it's a bowl-shaped stadium. They build it in the ground and they build it outward. So the noise goes like this. I played in the Rose Bowl, and with the exception of one Vince Young touchdown, it wasn't that loud because it's a bowl-shaped stadium. Notre Dame is loud to a certain extent. Also, Michigan hasn't had a lot of night games. Most night games are exciting. When you watch the whiteout at Penn State, you can see the camera shaking when you watch on TV. They're night games. They're not bowl stadiums. Ohio State's not a bowl stadium. LSU, Death Valley, not a bowl stadium. And they're night games. It's not loud because of that. But I tell you what, that 2013 Notre Dame game when Devin Gardner and Jeremy Gallon went off and we beat Notre Dame, that game was loud. I tell you what, that 04 Ohio State-Michigan game, number 100, when we won, that game was loud. Michigan knows how to get loud when it's supposed to get loud. So Kirk Herbstreit, who I always thought and I still think is an amazing analyst, I think he's great at his job, leave Michigan alone because we'll come after you.
That's right, Braylon.
We're passionate.
Where's my helmet? I'm ready to go run through the wall. Let's go.
Anytime I made a statement, and keep in mind, I'm an All-American consensus. I hold all the wide receiver records. I'm number 3 overall. I made a passionate comment in a state I shouldn't have been in about Michigan that was partially correct. Partly I shouldn't have said. Michigan fans canceled me to a certain extent, and it took a while to get back. I'm still trying to get back. That's called passion. They didn't like me talking about their football team, and I am the football team. So Kirk Herbstreit, chill out.
Chill out, Kirk. Stop it, Kirk. Don't be ridiculous anymore.
Braylon, you are back.
Dude, you are
better than ever.
Appreciate that.
Back.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark.
There we go.
Exclamation mark.
Bottom line, chill out, all that wrapped into one.
Man, I love you so much.
I love you too, brother.
I want to say this, too, about Kirk Herbstreit. I think it's a totally unfair comparison because we've been beaten down for 20 years, too. I mean, it's been 15 years.
There's nothing to cheer for.
There is outside of the Michigan-Ohio State game, I think it was 16.
Yeah. The Wisconsin game in 18 was the last night loud game they had. The one in 18.
I'm not even talking about loudness now.
Okay.
I'm just talking about actually big, something on the line football games. And I think, in 16 or when Michigan played Ohio State, they haven't played a good big football game in 15 years.
And I'll slow down and I'll still be passionate.
At some point that wears on you.
1,000%. That is exactly what I was going to say. Like the fans are tired of being beaten down year after year by Ohio State. You're tired of people, the quarterback controversy, what's going to happen. You're tired of being in the big moment and it not going your way. Then you're tired of not even being in the big moment. They're still passionate. In Ann Arbor, it's just getting to be like, man, when is enough enough? Like, when have we suffered enough is where the fans are, but they're still passionate.
I mean, when Michigan, I remember growing up, when Michigan lost a football game, it
was the end of the weekend.
I didn't sleep for days.
It was the end of the weekend.
Seriously, it ruined my week.
It was the end of the weekend.
It seriously ruined my week. There was nothing. There was no coming back from it.
Appalachian State, I had one of my worst games in the NFL after that game. I had to think about that whole day and night. I had to fork up all the money I lost with betting with my teams. It was legal betting. I was betting on my college, not the NFL. And then the next game, I still was thinking about it. I had a bad game. Like it killed us as Michigan people.
That game, the botch punt against Michigan State. I'm not over it still to this day. I still replay it in my head. I remember the noise. I had the front door open. I had the front door open. The screen door was there, so I was able to hear the neighborhood. We were ready to order some great Chinese food. We were all taking our orders. Oh man,
that's a Saturday meal.
I couldn't wait. It was so great. The families together were having a great time, and then that happened. I didn't eat, well, which is a lot for me. I didn't eat the rest of the night. And I heard people outside, my neighbors, all the Michigan State people, jumping up and down in the street, screaming, waving the flag. I'm still not over that. And I'm telling you, I stick with it. Jim Harbaugh is not over that. And it's ruined him. It ruined me. It hasn't been the same since that day.
I still know exactly where I was at when that happened. So I don't go to many games. I'll go to the tailgates and hang out with alums and friends, and I'll stay around and I'll take off before the game. Or I'll go to a big game and leave at halftime. Well, that Michigan State game, I actually went to that game, and right after we stopped Michigan State the last time it got the ball back, I walked out because I wanted to beat the crowd, beat the traffic, and get over to my boy Peter Savarino, who owns the 2 houses on Pauline, that yellow and the blue one, the tailgate houses.
That's great.
So I walked out of the stadium, I got out, and as we get to that road, not Hoover, but the one that the stadium is on that runs into Main Street, I hear this loud noise. But it wasn't loud enough to be a Michigan cheer. Like, it's like, this is our stadium. This ain't East Lansing.
It's a visiting cheer.
And I was like, what happened? So then I just see 2 Michigan State fans, white shirts, white and green, run by me. We did it. And I'm like, what type of farce and foolishness is this? And as soon as I get across the street to Pete's house and I see the TV, the same fan, the infamous one, I did the same thing in the living room. I was like, I couldn't believe it, man. I could not believe it.
I actually went to a wedding that night. I'll never forget it. My wife's cousin was getting married in Dearborn, and we were late for the wedding. I was watching the game.
Wedding? was it open bar?
They went to Michigan State, actually.
Oh, man.
So we drive. I thought the game was wrapped up. We get in the car because we can go now, because she's like, let's go. And I'm like, no, I have to finish this game. And then we get in the car to drive and drive it along, and I'll never forget it. I was just stunned. Like, there's nothing. And then you go back and you listen to the call from Sean McDonough.
Phenomenal call. I can watch the play and listen to it just to hear his call. Yeah. But it's going to rain in my nightmares. And of course, the meme that is going to forever live is that kid in the stands with his mouth open. That's Michigan fans.
We didn't have to play.
Oh, look at this.
Look at Alex.
Play it, Alex. Put the volume up.
The ball is loose, and it's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson.
And the poor kid
never played again. He never played.
Did he break his hip?
Yeah, he did the same thing Bo Jackson did.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he had his leg pulled out of his hip. Yeah, Jim.
Yeah, he did the same thing
Look at
Bo
Jim.
Jackson did. Alex, you know what?
Never will he ever recover from that. That, I told you, I saw his ghost leave his body. It did. Look at that. His ghost left his body.
On a positive note, I will tell you guys, I really believe this is going to be a good year for Michigan.
That's nice.
No, I really believe it. I think this is
What's a good year? A winning year?
No. I think Michigan is going to.
8-4?
No, I think.
Hold on. You finished, because I got something for you. I agree with you, but go ahead.
I think Michigan is going to surprise a lot of people this year. I'm going to say 10-2, 11-1 this year. I really believe in these guys. I think they're going to shock the world this year. And I do think they are going to beat Michigan State and Ohio State. I think they might get picked off on the road somewhere along the way. But I think Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines, and a lot of that is because Harbaugh knows he's got to do something this year, and I think these guys are being coached up. But I think they're being coached up differently. I put a lot of stock into the new coaches on this staff. I put a lot of stock in the new defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald. I put a lot of stock on Mike Hart and Ron Bellamy. These aren't just some feel-good situation where we're bringing back some former players here to coach these guys. That is not the case. Mike Hart is special.
I actually agree with you to the extent that Michigan will have a better season than a lot of people think. I don't think the Big Ten is as strong as it has been in the years. I think Wisconsin, you can count on. Iowa has a decent team, but it remains to be seen. So Wisconsin, Northwestern isn't the team that won the West last year. They had too many departures. Newsom went to Cleveland, first-round draft pick. They lost Patty Fisher, their leader for the last 4 years, 3-year captain, kind of like a Pat Fitzgerald clone. They don't have that same thing. They can get that win in Northwestern. We don't know what we're going to get out of Michigan State. They lost a lot of stars, and they just frankly weren't that good last year. Outside of Ohio State, and they play in Penn State, but I think they could beat Penn State. That could be a big win for them. I think the tone will be set September 11th because Washington comes here, And I think they can beat Washington, who's 20th in the country. If they beat Washington, that's 20th in the country, everything that you said, the kids will start believing themselves. And I think Ohio State and Wisconsin will be their only issue.
I can't wait to see it. I'd like to see a complete dominating effort this Saturday. We'll get more into some Michigan talk, but we're going to do Man Chill Out next. And boy, we got some good ones coming up. This is Herm Edwards. Maz is in the house with us. As always, Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Nice little mellow music right there.
Oh, man. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
hey.
A little switch up.
Oh, wait
It's
for it.
It's called bad transition, but the music is nice stuff.
Stay right here with me. Braylon, it is
the Afro beat, man.
And we have, by the way, if you are just watching us for the first time,
we went off, man.
This is a very important segment for you because we're going to be giving away some Lions tickets.
We are.
That's the case?
I love the setup. I should have been more prepared.
Well, I wasn't either. It just kind of became an organic situation. But this is going to be our Man Chill Out segment now. And if you want to get a sense of what we're going to do, Braylon, share with the people what we're going to do here.
Well, we got 2 tickets for you, buddy.
Yeah, baby.
Win 2 tickets to the Lions home opener against the 49ers. That's a good one. The 49ers, Jimmy G, Trey Lance could possibly play. They're a good team, locked and loaded to challenge for the NFC West. Woodward Sports, bottom line, that's us. Use hashtag #ManChillOut and submit your favorite video via social media. We will select the best Man Chill Out video. We're about to show you how to do a Man Chill Out, so give you an example how to do it. Twitter, IG, Facebook, make sure you follow Woodward Sports and at Bottomline WSN now through Friday the 9th because we love you.
This is going to be so much fun, and I can't wait to see some of these.
I think theirs are going to be better than ours.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Again, Twitter, Instagram, Woodward Sports, Bottomline WSN. Go ahead and submit your videos of your Man Chill Out, and we're going to pick the best one. You can submit those through September 9th. We're going to pick the best one. You get 2 tickets to the Lions opener against the Niners.
How could it be September already?
Today is the it's the first day of the
month.
Wake up,
welcome
get up.
to the show,
man. Jesus
welcome,
Christ,
baby. Summer's over, man. Summer's over.
Where was I at for the
here.
first hour?
Oh man,
I looked at my pool today, and it's in pristine condition. It's in pristine. Well, it's above ground.
I haven't gotten it. It's a
what
pool,
do you mean?
though. I
What
didn't
are
get
you
an
talking
invite.
about?
Look, it's in pristine condition.
I didn't know you had an above ground pool.
It kills me that I got to
crash
shut
the
that
party?
sucker down.
Yeah.
I can't. I got to shut that sucker down in a couple of weeks.
Not before I come over.
You're
what
welcome,
time do you
man.
get it going? You know,
it's going all
it's
day.
Going.
It's going.
You get it going,
I think Lily's already saying that she's coming home from East Lansing this weekend.
She's bringing friends. You
gotta
got to
do
be
it.
careful.
And she's bringing some friends
See,
with
I
her.
already knew it. You got to be careful.
That's how you do it, Maz. All right, gang, here you go. We're going to give you, we're going to let you know exactly how you do a Man Chill Out. You pick something out, you give some reasons, you tell the story, you give some reasons against it, and then.
I'm going last. Since I already kind of got to kind of calm down from the Kirk Herbstreit segment.
I think, Maz, you get to go first today, buddy. You're up. Cue the. Oh, wait, whoa. I'm off today, guys. Sorry, it was an early wake-up call in the Armani household today.
2 a.m., buddy.
Ooh,
2 a.m. You made it. We appreciate you.
I wasn't taking the day off today. I wasn't going to let Maz run this.
You just wanted to see Jay Feely. You just wanted to see Jay Feely.
We need you.
Well, Braylon said Jay Feely was going to be on the show. Little did you guys know I have like a total man crush on Jay Feely, so I was coming today. Time now for Man Chill Out.
You think it's funny?
Chill, buddy.
Pack your bags, get the hell off. Now, do you understand what you did?
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Man, chill out.
We need some video for this.
Yeah,
don't
we
we?
gotta get some video for that real quick.
I'm like Will Ferrell in Intelligent
sitting
Night.
there.
I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do with my. Do I bring them?
We're gonna have some video for that, or at least a billboard or something.
A banner.
Hey, we appreciate you growing with us.
Exactly.
Because
We're growing. It's on the spot.
It's all
Show
organic
prep.
right now. Okay, Maz, you're up.
All right, I'm going to take you out to the PGA Tour and Colin Morikawa. Colin Morikawa has a deal with General Mills and his favorite cereal, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which is one of my top 5 in my cabinet. I'm a cereal connoisseur. It's my favorite thing. As you can see, take a look at me. I eat a lot of cereal. I love it. Instead of potato chips, I'll eat cereal. But you know what? In the morning, I'm going to have my cereal. I'm going to put some milk in it. I'm going to put some blueberries, some bananas, whatever. Take a look at how Colin Morikawa walks around the PGA Tour. He's got a sweet deal with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Check this out. Look at those clubs. He's got the Cinnamon Toast covers. He's got his milk.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Look what he's doing.
No, he didn't.
He did. He did.
No, he didn't.
He did. Sweet, sweet stuff. Great looking stuff.
Yeah.
But he made a mistake.
Big one.
He poured the milk in first. Then he put the cereal on top of the milk.
Savage.
What is he thinking about? Who eats cereal putting the milk in the bowl first and then adding the cereal?
Completely
Well,
in
you know,
reverse.
it's Eastern culture, so maybe we need to teach him the Western culture. Maybe that's how they are on the East
He's
side.
an American.
Well, he's still Eastern culture is where he's from naturally. That's the ethnicity.
I never thought of that, but
Yeah,
guess
so
what?
maybe
He's wrong. He's wrong.
Let me tell you.
I'm trying to help out.
In no culture in the universe do they pour the milk first.
Colin
Okay.
Morikawa,
I digress.
get your stuff straight. Cereal first, then milk, then enjoy. Repeat until the milk disappears, of course. And if it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, you drink every bit of that milk because it is cinnamonly delicious. Colin Morikawa, man, chill out.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Now that's good job,
That's
man.
just-
Way to call him
way
on
to
that,
go.
man. Now I'm thinking about it. Because if it just sits at the top and you're like,
No.
you're eating it with no...
You're cutting
it has
the roof
to
of your
fu-
mouth.
Nasty.
Yeah, that
What are
was...
you doing? Can you imagine eating Captain Crunch that way?
It's horrific.
Would kill you.
Man, it'd be a dentist appointment.
I couldn't even imagine. Oddly, I'm in the PGA Tour as well.
Oh, boy.
For my man, chill out today.
It's the golf shirts. We're all wearing golf
Look,
shirts.
this is striking to me. So one of the best rivalries in all of golf right now are Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka.
Brooks.
They just don't like each other, and the fans at the PGA Tour events are riding DeChambeau
They both hit it a mile.
because of it. Oh, they hit it a mile, Al. Thank you, George Kell. So this is breaking news today in golf. Those who yell out Brooksy to Bryson DeChambeau could be ejected from PGA Tour events in the future. That's what Jay Monahan, the PGA Tour commissioner, said today, because it's a sign of disrespect. Everybody's yelling Brooksy, a.k.a. Brooks Koepka. That's his nickname, to Bryson DeChambeau.
He lives in his head.
Yeah.
Totally. And
It's like Joel
DeChambeau
Embiid
is
talked about Andre Drummond. He's got rental space.
totally. He needs to pay rent. And DeChambeau is striking back at these fans who are calling him Brooksy. So the PGA Tour says that our fans have a standard of abide by, and that these comments or gestures undermine the inclusive and welcoming nature of the game and will not be. You got to get it together, my friend.
Yeah, I almost applauded the PGA for how they moved forward in the past 6-7 years, kind of getting away from, the golf clap and things of that nature. They're still not disrespectful, but it's more fun to watch. Like, let your fans be interactive. Let them get some wins. Alex, you guys unveil
big time. Yeah, it happens
especially
for sure.
in the streaming world.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But if you're watching on Twitter,
Twitter's working beautifully.
Twitter's working beautifully.
Take your butt to Twitter.
And YouTube will get back early. Okay, good. Let's
Unplug it, plug it back in like we do with the cable boxes.
Is that what you need to do?
Isn't that what you do at home when the cable's out? You unplug it, you plug it back in.
This is not a VCR.
Yeah.
This is not Nintendo.
Exactly.
Chill out, man.
So, guys, I'd like to do the top 10 if I could now. I know they're trying to fix that.
He wanted to, and all he's been hearing about is Brady this, Brady that, Brady's back, what Tampa can do. People have almost kind of written them off, and